recording. Hey, bud. Welcome back to the ZnZerna Music Hour. My name is PT Burnem. I'm your host for this evening, as with every evening up till now, and past now. Shout outs to Cold Rhymes Records. Shout outs to Dan Keach, the Man Height. Shout outs to Erica P. And yeah, we have a special guest tonight, and her name is Arielle Bryant. That's her right there. We're going to talk to her a little later about the different roles that you have to play when you're doing the self-release thing. I'm recording and I'm mixing and I'm doing all the steps in the process in order to get the song out. The sort of challenges that come with that, and might be touching on some ways to overcome those challenges. And basically this is what I refer to as like the different hats that you have to wear during the process. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. We got this angle, which is where I'm gonna be talking to Arielle right here. And she is a fantastic singer and songwriter. She's got a track out called Thought Form, and we're going to be talking actually about her process writing and recording and releasing Thought Form. And yeah, I'm just really excited to break it down with her and talk about these things. We're going to precede that with a little jam from a track that I started this morning, actually, after seeing a cool new instrument by Vlad Kramer, where it's called the Terra. It's like it's custom made to make me salivate, but really what I liked was the sounds coming out of it, and they really were just sort of like echoey, reverby bells. So I set about getting a couple of those things going, which was not hard at all on the MPC. Give you a little overhead shot. We've got the MPC working. It's going to be sending drums to the pulsar, and going to be sending clock to the no control, which is going to be sending pitches to the no coast. But unlike other episodes, I've got a new thing in the chain. It's a quantizer to make sure that the notes all are within a certain scale, and it allows a lot more free form sort of sculpting there, rather than really having to be like, oh, is that perfectly in tune or not? Now, a lot of people like the fact that these the no control can get microtonic, which is excellent, but it's always good to have an option, I think, to get locked into scales if you want to be doing melodic music. So we've got that happening, and yeah, I'm going to jam out on this track a little bit, and then we're going to talk about the various hats, and then we're going to move on to, this is really exciting. I think I've really discovered where the pulsar physical object thing really shines, and that's in the recreation of breakbeats, like just really powerful, big sounding things. So I did a sort of study a couple days ago, just ran through a couple of the standardized breakbeat patterns. And actually, I've got some competitions up on TikTok right now. If you're on TikTok and you're watching this, you're not my friend yet. Is that what they're called? A friend?
If they follow you back.
Follow me back. If you follow me back on TikTok, there you can win stickers. You can win stickers by correctly identifying the break in question. So we got all that going on tonight. Different breaks. That's how we're gonna finish it out. We might do a little bit of synth jamming with the breaks going. We'll see if that's a good look or not. We've got the physical objects going. We got the grate. You can see that behind us. We do not have the apple, which is hanging there because it's not mic'd, and it's really, I don't know, I've got a complicated relationship with bells right now. I'm playing these pretty bells. On the synth, and I'm listening to this bell, and I'm like, it's very lovely. And it's my friend Aaron's bell, MC and I, who I'm working with on an album. And it's just a really beautiful piece, but it is not that practical for all kinds of beats. And I'm using a whole channel of physical object sequencing, and I've only got 5 of those channels. So I think I might end up switching some of those out, maybe making them hang, bells that hang and maybe get struck in a different way from the tower. We'll see. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with these sequenced objects and making these big breaks. We're gonna get to that. First, we're gonna jam on what we've got going on here. It might even bring in the bass right here. Wait, I think that bass hasn't been corrected yet. There we go. Arielle actually has been catching some of my tuning errors. I usually catch them myself before releasing a thing, but she's just got really quick ears. Thank you, Pete. Okay. So that's the bass. And actually, I like that one for the sort of intro softer. Okay, we're gonna go to the breather. I'm gonna go back to the this. I'm gonna go to the breather. I hope that y'all are having an excellent Tuesday. I'm looking forward to getting into this stuff for you. We're gonna go to the breather. Take a moment. Okay. All right. Let's start bringing some things in. Later, I'm going to talk to you also. If you're in Maryland, Baltimore, you're going to want to know about what I've got going on. It's going down at the Crown on the 18th. These nice bells going. And this thing on the bass allows me to do a sort of scratchy. I actually already have a little down a little bit. We got that going. Later, I'm going to feed that into some delay. That's an example of those break beats I was talking to you about. Big old crash. It was nice and slow. There's a double time version in there too. We're not gonna get there just yet. Now, I've also got some synth going. I got some synth going on the no coast and no control here. I'm gonna bring that in. Now we got it in. Okay, now, because we've got this quantized pattern going, and we can change the tuning around. scratchy sound into the delay. You're gonna hear it swell up. I'll make it louder first. It's a very delicate thing. Okay. So that's been nice. We got this going on. We can bring tension up by reducing the down to a nice ambient place. Okay, so get rid of some of these things. All right, so
That one.
thank you.
That one.
So let's talk a little bit about music making and the different hats that you have to wear when you're songwriting and recording in the modern day, which I view as a bit different these days. Something about this flashing light is bugging me. It might even this, which means 1 second, I'm gonna switch to real quick. Oh shoot, I got some people up in the chat. Wait, I think this is from like last week. Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Wow. Okay, we out here. We out here. Footbag, good to see you. Barry, good to see you. Okay, cool. I'm glad that y'all are out here. I'm out here too. Arielle Bryant is out here. Woo! So, we're gonna talk about some things. We're gonna talk about these different hats. Used to be, and actually we were talking earlier in the kitchen. So with Arielle, it is still this way in terms of writing songs, where you are a primarily like a guitarist, singer-songwriter.
Singer-songwriter.
And that is kind of a classical way of doing things. You're doing it, correct me if I'm wrong, the process is basically like sitting with the guitar, playing and writing lyrics, or coming with poetry.
Right, it can go either way. Sometimes it starts as a do, and sometimes
1 second, it's not reading you. Sorry. 1 second, y'all. I know what's going on here. I have to. Sorry, guys. Here we go. Noise gate. There we go.
hello, greetings, testing.
Now that's better.
Now you can hear me.
Yes.
In short, songs are birthed in many different ways. Sometimes music first, sometimes words first, sometimes both at the same time. So,
Yes. And during this process, though, what you're listening to, you're not really thinking a lot about, oh, does the guitar tone sound like this? Does it like...
right.
That's like later in the process.
That's definitely later. And I play the acoustic guitar. I can play an electric guitar, but I'm an acoustic guitarist, so my tone doesn't vary too much.
Right, it's basically built in.
Right.
And you've already chosen it. You had a very careful process choosing your particular guitar, did you not?
Oh, I sure did. I shopped for her for months.
Yeah, I feel like we both have a history of like haunting a music store for a little while before being the actual purchaser of the thing.
The guys at Guitar Center knew me by the end of it.
Yes. So yeah. So a lot of that, that tonal choice happens before.
Mm-hmm.
and there's not a lot of variation necessarily that can happen after, as opposed to like with the synthesizer, your tone is almost constantly varying, and in fact, it's tonal variation. Sometimes it's being swung back and forth so fast you don't even really recognize it as tonal variation. It's just very quick sweeping, and it's all under your control constantly.
Right.
So even from a songwriting standpoint, when you're doing it with beat machines and synths, there is an active ability. We won't necessarily say tendency, but I would say anything that can be done kind of calls to you to be done.
Right, and that's one of the things I find so intimidating, though I love electronic music, like, you know, I'm the connoisseur, but there's infinite possibilities, it seems, with synthesizers. And with the guitar, it's pretty straightforward, so
Yes.
the confines of creativity are, you're more guided within bounds, and with synthesizers, it's like you can do almost anything.
Absolutely. Which is actually kind of intimidating at first. And if you look at well, that was more just because I love the sound of samples. I still love the sound of samples sometimes, but my early work is more sample based. And the limitless potential of synth really just means that you have to be willing to put more limitations on yourself, like with where you're gonna go with it, and be kind of exacting in where you want to be with it. But then with something like the Make Noise No Control, it also is very varied. Like you were playing with it earlier. I think we're gonna have another little jam session where I'd like to let you play on the synthesizer. Yeah. It's hard to hear your side of the conversation. I'd say scoot in closer.
Okay, we get cozy.
And I'm gonna turn the mic up, and I'm gonna bring it back a little bit. So, give me a quick.
Okay, check. It says, not sure if that was because she took the headphones off. There's no microphone on my headphones. These are simply for monitoring purposes. How is the sound now?
What do you think now, Barry?
Can you hear me
are we
now?
more even?
There's a little lag.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. There's
Yeah,
not
so
only.
better.
Okay. Cool.
Thanks, guys.
Cool. Thank you, Barry.
Barry's always in that chat.
Barry from the very beginning has been technically helping me, and he's a true OG. Footbags too, but Barry is just the true OG of the game. Truly appreciate you constantly. Oh,
You
it's
guys
really looking
normally
good.
see me in the chat room as 1-Infinite-0, so here's a face.
Oh yes.
To a screen name.
I forgot to say that. I'm kind of terrible at doing intros and stuff. Okay, so talking about with beat machines and synths and putting limitations on yourself. And if you can do that, there does feel like this limitless potential there, that anything you dream could work out, could happen. But then that's also kind of weird because it's tempered by the fact that oftentimes it doesn't sound exactly like you wanted.
Right, and then you can discover new things you didn't even know that you wanted.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Happy accident machine. Very, very nice. And this is one of the things also, because I love the guitar in all its shapes and forms, from the dulcimer to everything. All stringed instruments are beautiful to me, but and I think that sound, I always come back to it, especially when I want to relax or when I want to be calm. Just playing the guitar is nice. But this is also something that I think a person with arthritis could do.
That is a great point.
And I anticipate potentially having arthritis.
So do I.
The hands tell the tale.
Yeah.
But yeah, so something that you can kind of take into old age, and still do, and also sort of leave unattended to work on its own. But yeah, so aside from songwriting, you did the mixing and the mastering of Thought Form yourself.
I did. It was my first, self-produced track. It's the only official release that you will find out there under my name. I used to have a little EP I did when I was a teenager, but I did everything. I did have help with the second ear and some guitar work by a friend, and I actually used TikTok to collect a choir, which I turned into like a psychedelic gospel choir thing. At
Really?
the end. It's very subtle. The mixing, it's very folded into the end of the song, but it's meant to be kind of.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I just asked people to duet my video. So I had help. There were other people involved, but during the lockdowns, I had a lot of time on my hands.
Yes.
And I wore all of the hats, which can be exhilarating.
Yes.
But very draining. I'm the kind of person who can put 1,000,000% of my energy into one thing and obsess at a time.
Yes, I've seen how you're working on the t-shirt.
Yeah.
It's sorry if I called it out.
No, it's fine. I actually took your advice and I'm simplifying it so I can get it out quicker.
Yeah.
And I'll probably start with stickers and t-shirts, but I've been obsessed.
It's really beautiful. I'm really happy with what you've been doing. That's a really cool drawing. I can't wait for the world to see. So when you were producing and doing those things, you're mixing on the fly there too, because you're, like you say, you're laying the chorus that you created out of the TikTok participants, and you're laying it into the mix at a certain level.
Mm-hmm.
So to a certain degree, you're playing both the producer and the engineer, which I've been thinking about that a lot, the way that the producer and engineer used to be two separate people a lot of the time. And how different, they look like a similar skill set, especially from the perspective today, where when you're a beat maker or you're a producer, you're really doing all of that. If you're using real objects, you probably don't got another human in the room placing your mics for you. You're learning mic placement yourself. You're doing it all yourself. And what a different sort of thought process you have to have for the two of them, where one is more exacting. How did you refer to it? One is the...
oh crap, what did I say earlier? It's like one is... The producer is the director.
The director.
And the audio tech is the... I guess producer and director is better.
Okay.
But yeah, like the producer is the producer. He's just calling the shots broadly. But the audio technician is like the director.
Right.
Immediately hands-on with the crew.
Yes.
So we do see it reflected in other creative industries.
Definitely. And I think it could be applied to, not as easily, but like there's people that do, like, Andy Warhol, like the way that he did his art, like separating the process of thinking about it and executing it.
Right, just manufacturing it. Now it's all DIY MFs. Yeah, DIY motherfuckers.
DIY motherfuckers.
That's right. The internet and at-home recording software has completely changed the game. And I've thought about that a lot.
Yes, definitely. And I guess I'm concerned with, as we change the game, we make sure that we understand like the reasons for the old school separation of those tasks, and how you can make a lot of effective decisions as a producer if you sort of take off the engineering hat. Don't worry too much about how yet, just worry about what you want, and then give that directive to your engineer self and have them execute that without going back too much and being like, oh, well, actually it could be like this and it could be like this. So like once there's a sort of, I feel like a danger for songs get stuck in this mid-range place where they're being mixed, remixed, thought about,
Yep.
and nailing something down concrete for release.
That's hard. I
It's tough.
struggle with the perfectionism.
Did you struggle with that with thought form?
I did, but it changed, like my vision for the song, because this was the first time I had done that even for myself. I was figuring out a lot of the different aspects at the same time. So I think if I went back and the next track I self-produce, direct, I'll be quicker to make calls, I think. And that's some notes that I took for myself, was like, okay, I gave myself a pass for this one because it's the first time.
It's the first time you're learning, for sure.
Yeah.
That's another thing that I kind of, it might be obvious sort of, but like, and it's definitely not for you, this message necessarily, where it's like, that, because we talked about this before, where it's like the first time can be kind of like this long process where you're figuring things out. You don't really have a roadmap other than maybe what you've seen on YouTube or some, you know, other like places, or if you've had some kind of teacher. But like, it's like the subsequent times just take so much less, and there's just less feeling of seriousness, you know, of like dire, which I think this is one of the big dangers that can kill a song's beauty, is like when you feel really dire about it. It must be so, when you get that perfectionist eye for it, you know. There's a reason they kick the engineer out, I think, at a certain point, where it's like you kind of gotta just let go and be like, okay, it's not necessarily perfect, but
right. And I know a lot of audio engineers, right? Like a lot of buddies of mine, and a similar theme is that, you know, they might actually have to kick the client out, or the musician in that case, because it's like you can want a new thing every time they make an edit, you know, and that drives them absolutely insane.
Yes, and you could see how it might be a little bit difficult if you are the engineer. You can't really kick the artist. You have to do it in your mind. Kick the artist out. You got to say, okay, I can no longer access these choices.
That's why setting deadlines is a good thing. That's something that helps me with any of my art work, any of my creative work, is like, I'm going to aim to have it done on this day. Right.
Actual concrete deadlines that you write down and that can look at and say, okay.
Right.
Now, do you break it down after that, like in like this task, this task, this task, or is it more like those tasks are mostly held in your mind for what you're doing, and it's just the straight, this needs to be done?
Yeah, it's in my mind, the general due date. Like when I was in Pisces Rising, my old band, we released a full rock opera or folk opera album, and we booked our album release show at Spaz Fest. And
a good choice.
Yeah, I said, this is going to be our album release show, so we better have our album done before this.
Yes.
And that's what kept us going. Like, no, we got to have it out, have it released. And it was kind of like a prize at the end, because we were two kids, right, who could have just taken forever to do it. But so there's ways, incentivizing it.
Yes, incentivizing it for yourself. That's one of the whole things. It's just like working for yourself. You've got to have a lot of self-discipline. You've got to have a. Can you read that? What's going on?
I never see songs as finished. There's just a point when I stop messing with it.
I definitely can see that.
I get that.
Yeah, and in reality, yes, definitely, that's a very like advanced kind of Zen way to look at it, because truly songs are, once a song idea, a core idea, a set of words especially, or a specific melody and hook, a structure, has been made real, other people can take a hold of it. It exists beyond you. It's never finished. It now exists. It can manifest in these various ways. You know, I manifested this one way, but these things aren't like a definitive, these are not the song. The song lives. These are like snapshots of what the song looks like to me, you know, and
there's an opportunity to change it. Like, and I'm just realizing this now.
Yeah.
Like if you feel yourself wanting to just toil and tinker with it, get it nailed down to a final form, release it, and then know that when you do it live, you can do it differently. Or adjust it if you can, depending on your genre and like how you.
Totally.
I mean, you can do it different every time with these little knobs.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I think that the subtle ways that a live song is different from the recorded version can be so incredible, even like especially with an instrumentalist, like a guitarist or something like this, where the emotional mode that they're in can like, it's like, oh, they just crush that one from the bottom of their heart, you know, like, and those moments are mostly spontaneous. You can't plan for them and be like, okay, on this date when I'm in the studio, I will be feeling like this wild energy, this tap into the, you can certainly do things to foment that kind of mood and mode of being, but I think that the spontaneous eruption of these kinds of emotional deliveries can really make for spectacular things, which is, you know, why sometimes we end up with like the live version being the more definitive version, the one that everybody wants to hear.
Right. So sometimes if I listen to a live album of a band I like or whatever, and it's not the same as it is on the album itself, sometimes I can be a little disappointed. But unless they really take it to an elevated degree, and then I'm like, yeah.
Yes.
But there's that like habitual thing. Like our brain just wants the fun juice, where it's like, do the thing I like.
Yes. And it's not all fun juice. We gotta know that. That's a number one lesson. It's not all fun juice, but this is fun juice, though.
This is fun juice.
Yeah. Let's see. For electronic songwriters, actually, we'll get back to that in a minute. Let's talk real quick. Let's do a quick interruption.
Yeah.
Just to talk about this Baltimore show. Barry, hopefully you're still listening. Jen, if you're out there. Joe, if you're listening. We're going to have a great time. It's the 18th. This is for everybody. That's Baltimore, Maryland, even, Nova type Virginia. It's going to be worth the trip. We've got it going down at the Crown on the 18th. And it's going to be myself with the Dust Cat Dream, all the objects and cacophonous lights. And we're going to have Easy Jackson doing a set. And we're going to have my man Vans Wesley doing a set. The flyer, actually, we can bring that up. The flyer also says Chris Carr, but unfortunately Chris Carr had to drop the show, so we're just rolling with Easy Jackson and Vans Wesley. So I'm going to be doing a performance of P.T. Burnem set with the clanging objects and all that lighting, and we're going to have some interactive bits, as usual, with the Dust Cat Dream, some interactive synth bits, and control over the objects, etc. It's going to be a really good time, and because of placement and dating, it's only $10 to get in. So that's like a really low price for the Dust Cat Dream drum machine. And I hope to see you all there. And if you're a Dust Cat, you get, Barry gets full VIP access. He's a extremely generous supporter of the Dust Cat Dream, and is going to get in for nothing, and basically anything he wants to do with the machine, aside from like burn it to the ground, which I doubt he would want to do. Is going to be open. Now, a lot of you are Dust Cats, so you're going to get discounted tickets. Holler at me through Patreon for that, and we'll get that arranged, because I want y'all to partake, and I want y'all to get that benefit of, because, some of this stuff, the microphones right now being used, one of them is covered by that Patreon support that I get, so I'm just really grateful for y'all for enabling this terrible habit of mine.
Barry's in the chat right now. Says, "Do I need a ticket?" Oh, cool.
Yeah, no.
And he's got a link to it.
You don't need a ticket. I'll recognize your face. Your beautiful face is all you. Actually, what I need to know is if you need a +1 or anything like that. Just let me know. Yeah, but the 18th at the Crown, it's going down. I'm really excited. Also, if you're in Philadelphia, I'm doing a special Mother's Day set on May 5th. Wait, May 12th? Goodness gracious me. The 14th. My bad. My apologies. It's Mother's Day Sunday. And that's going to be at the Fire in Philadelphia. So if you're in Philadelphia and around that area, you can come out to the Fire. We're doing a fundraiser for my friend. She's a wonderful human, Lisa Hagen. And she's having some medical issues, and this country is a garbage heap. So we're going to try and raise some money to help her. And, there's really no higher calling than helping friends out. And I'm really looking forward to the show. It sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. And the Fire is always a good time. So Philadelphia, I haven't seen you in a while. That's happening on the 14th of this month. So I think we're gonna play around with these machines a little more. We can do some co-work on the synths after we get these drums started. I'm gonna reveal another part of the beat. Let's get into it. Skip to the overheads. Barry, I love you. Wait, what does it say?
He says it's just Barry, just him.
Oh, we're in Philly. Philly's at the Fire. The Fire is the name of the venue. I might just keep it on this slower one. Earl Bry. Oh. Earl Bry. Oh, where's my bad boy? Oh, I got it somewhere. I don't know where that thing went. Okay, doesn't really matter. I don't need it. Okay, cool. Feel free to play around with that guy. I'm gonna move to the side a little bit so you can get in there. And I'm gonna maybe do some muting and some stuff. And I might get up and play with the synth a little bit. If you want it to go back to that faster one, yeah. No, the speed won't control it. What we've gotta do is move this pink one to this faster. I got it on the fast one now. Thank you, Clever Parasite. It's good to see you in the chat. I love you, man. real neat going on there. So, I was gonna do some breakbeat experimenting tonight, but I got so wrapped up in this good fun that I really love this little jam we got going on. I never really jammed with somebody with the synths mutually at the same time on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is the first time.
Me too.
Yeah, I love that groove. I really like this thing. So there's one more thing. There's one more thing I want to tell you about. And that is that my friend and like just a glorious human being, one of my favorites, Pepe of the DIY Bandits, has a whole new podcast out. It's called Back on the Grind. He's doing cool interviews. This week, this month, we've got Apes of the State. That's cool. Next month we got me. I know, Arielle, you got a friend who's going to be interviewed on that podcast. Who is it?
Folk Punk Dad. We're friends on TikTok. Yeah.
Folk Punk Dad. Yeah, well, yeah. But yes, so lots of cool interviews and exclusive songs and stuff. So that's really exciting. Again, it's called Back on the Grind. It's a podcast with Pepe from the DIY Bandits. He got out of jail maybe like a little less than a year ago. And it's so cool to see him putting the dreams he had while he was in there into action out here. We were there when we went in. We were there when he got out. We're doing the damn thing. Okay, so the ZnZerna Music Hour. I'd like to give a shout out and a huge thank you to my Dust Cats. Again, if you're in the Maryland, Baltimore area, it is a no-brainer. You gotta come see the Dust Cat Dream Drum Machine. This is the culmination of a lot of the work that we've been doing. We'll run that thanks. Thank you to all my DigiCats. Thank you to Kenny Creech, all my Zerna Cats, Erica P, B. Pittman, Melissa Schick, Gerald Schultz. Thank you to all my Dusty Cats, Scarlett Herrera. Hopefully I'll see you in Greensboro. We got plans for Greensboro. Sam Seeger, Visitor 10, Eric Akers, Austin Cat, Becca Magsig, Jen Dudley. I'm gonna hopefully see you at the Dust Cat Dream. Wayne Anderson, Quinn Cat, Anna Carmen. I love y'all. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you. Huge thank you to my Lumi Cats. I really only have one Lumi Cat. The other is Barry, and he's actually royal blue. So Dogfuck, this goes out to you. my good friend. I'm glad I get to see you here in Richmond. We got, last but certainly not least, Barry Cat. Barry, I'm happy every time I put your quote up. Nothing is true, everything is permitted. And I can't thank you enough for all of your support. I can't wait to see you in Baltimore. We're gonna mess with these machines live. It's gonna be fantastic. So, we're gonna go out on this one, and next week we're gonna do break beats. As long as something else doesn't happen in between that's really awesome, like this beat that happened today. Huge thanks to Arielle Bryant, and thank you for being on the show and for letting us in on a few of the insights that you gleaned. I know we didn't get to talk for too long, but you know, I definitely found what you were saying informative, and I hope that our viewers did too.
I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
I really enjoyed ourselves. I really enjoyed myself. And I guess we're gonna go out on this. Is there anything you want to say to our viewers before we dip out?
Thank you so much for joining for our chat today and our jams. I put a link to my website in the chat, ariellebryant.com. You'll find anything you're curious about there.
Definitely go there.
Yeah.
Check out Thoughtform.
Streaming on all platforms.
Streaming on all platforms. Until next week, keep your ears open for those beautiful sounds. And I will see you next Tuesday. Bye.